we are live. Woo! Gosh. My goodness. So we've already had a bit of chatter in the chat tonight from Ed and Usher.
I was just telling Ed that the Eelin Wraal fan club is not a thing.
Absolutely a thing. There's merchandise and everything.
There's t-shirts. Yeah, I've seen them. They do exist.
It's not helpful if you're the only one, or your daughters are the only one in the fan club.
We are a legion of one.
Excellent,
Oh,
excellent.
man.
So how's everyone doing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
A good couple of weeks. And of course we've got back with us again. We got Kira. Hello,
Yay.
welcome back, Kira. We didn't put you off last time then.
No, not yet. I'll give you one more week.
Well, if anyone can put you off, it's us. Yeah. Fantastic. So how are we feeling about Kotar Station? You're not on board the Alcubierre anymore, so, that's got to be good, right?
Definite bonus.
Great mood because it's a non-Oberth class vessel.
Yeah.
But yeah, Klingon space station of the damned.
I'm feeling slightly better about it, considering most people are dead already. I was a little concerned that they would be less dead and it would be a lot more painful.
Yeah, I was worried.
Yeah.
I didn't think Stu would drop me in the deep end on my first one, so.
Oh, I figured Stu probably would.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No, I kind of figured.
Totally.
Too nice to me.
That's a me
Too
move.
nice to me.
I kind of figured he would as well. It would be like, she's going to play with us, so let's just make it as bad as possible and see if she sticks through that, then maybe she'll stick around.
Professional level only.
That's totally me. Totally me. And we didn't hear much from Ed in the last game, of course, because, we didn't hear much from Eelin Wraal, I should say.
No, he's sat very comfortably on his on the bridge of his new starship. Don't tell Captain.
I did.
That she's still asleep, hopefully. So yeah,
I talked to you with comms.
Yes, I'm always here in the ether, never more than a quick comm badge away. But I'm also I still need to try and find a convincing set of Andorian antennas and some blue face paint.
But how is Wraal feeling about the responsibility, the weight of all the lives of the Starship crew?
This is new territory. It's new territory for all because he's had to literally hand over responsibility to Varren for the first time. I mean, we've seen them work as a pair together on the Alcubierre, and now he's literally got to step back and say, "You've got to run this, and I have to stay back here and stay with the ship." I mean, there's always plenty of chance to do the Kirk thing and rip one's shirt and run into the transporter beam, but not by this point, not by the 2380s, I don't think, no. Regulations are a lot tighter.
Jesus.
Diplomacy first. And speaking of being diplomatic, how is Varren finding being the executive officer?
I'm pretty sure he's never going to be that again after this mission. I don't know. I think Varren is probably way less uncomfortable by it than I am. Because me as Usher, I am completely nervous about it. But, whatever. It is what it is.
I won't tell you how much Matt paid me to make you in that position.
Well, funnily enough, I was going to ask, does Bosh feel he's been kind of stepped over?
No, I think there was probably a little pang to start with, but considering he's chief medical officer, I don't think it makes a huge amount of sense to be first officer as well. I actually don't know what the regulations are on that sort of thing, but I think there's probably a division of labour that can't be stepped on.
Well, canonically in Star Trek, anyone, even an ensign, it seems, can be a first officer.
So it's not that special, it's fine.
Fantastic. And Davok, of course, as a Vulcan, Davok wouldn't have any ambition or wouldn't worry about any of this, or does he?
No, he's just getting on with the job.
Yeah. Science! He likes his science.
He loves the science. Well, loves a strong word.
He does
gonna
the
science the shit out of this.
He has a respectful appreciation for the science.
Yes, science is science.
Yeah, science must be
Yeah.
done. It's logical.
There's going to be a lot of
Absolutely.
science trying to figure out what the fuck is going on this station.
And observing all these Federation humans and Trill and Vulcans and Ferengi and Andorians and God knows what else. We have Major Davok Dazes.
Yeah.
What's the Major's view on all these humans and are they the efficient Starfleet crew that you would expect?
Well, she wasn't expecting much. And she wasn't disappointed. No, I think she's just of the mind that let's just, getting involved, sticking their nose in, but they're here now, so just got to deal with it. So
I mean, it's pretty lucky that we stuck our nose in. Your ship was literally falling apart.
yeah, thanks for saving my life, but you can go now.
Yeah, exactly.
Really?
I was
Fair enough.
like, it didn't seem like you were doing much better without us.
You never know.
Could be. We'll find out.
Well, do you know what? That's probably an excellent place for us to do our recap to bring us up to speed as to where we are. And as ever, we do it via a log. Please go ahead.
Okay. Klingon Defense Force log recorded under security log green 832 Hasperat. Hodar Dagog Dazez reporting on this day, 39 in the year of KLS 1006. Acting on the information received from Hakak in the Klingon Imperial Intelligence Division, I have managed to acquire a vessel and make my way to Kortar Station. I trust Hakak completely, which raises a lot of questions about why I would not have been involved in the activities here, given my experience and knowledge. The ship broke apart upon arrival, being little more than a garbage scow, but fortunately, Starfleet's interference in matters that do not concern them paid off for once, and they were able to beam me out before I joined with the Prophets and Honored Dead in Stovercore. I must get to the bottom of what is going on and determine exactly what the Federation is doing here too. I cannot be sure how they will react to the information I carry, nor my reasons for being here, so must employ caution at all times, particularly given the nature of this enemy to the Empire. The Starfleet crew have been somewhat useful in helping access the station logs, where we discovered that the parasite seemed to have come on board via the filthy Tellarites that shuttled back and forth between here and the Cordillon system. They also gained access to the infirmary, where the parasitic beings have been used to genetically alter the Klingon warriors we found within. This points to dark times, to say the least. For now, it seems I must keep close to these Federation puppets if I am to make my way to the Cordillon system and hopefully to the root of this. Prophets willing, though, I do not find myself surrounded on all sides by the dishonourable and untrustworthy.
Very
I
nice.
feel like there was a lot of backhanded
nicely
compliments there.
done.
and some outright just anger.
So we left our heroes, for want of a better term, in the infirmary.
Not a good turn.
Of course. Surrounded by dead Klingons. What, as ever, would you like to do?
I don't really remember what we were.
Well, I've been scanning all of them, so we picked up a load of extra information on them ripping the parasites out of the backs of their necks, and we cordoned one off, didn't we? While
Yeah.
while
The major.
the major was torching all of the others.
Yeah. We agreed that was the acceptable course of action to take.
Yeah.
I'll remind you.
Yeah, I had to beg Major D-Bag there to let me keep one alive. So.
I want that to be my name forever.
No, so we were scanning the one that was alive, and then we agreed to basically torch all the other ones. And then after we get our scan and we save our data, we will burn that one as well.
Just to be absolutely clear, there is not one that is alive.
Yeah.
We kept a body.
There's one that was in slightly more pieces, sort of less pieces.
Yes. None of them were alive.
I believe that was the doctor, wasn't it?
Yeah. He had a knife in his back, but apart from that, he was fine.
He did indeed.
That's for any medicine.
Yeah.
That's self-inflicted.
Natural
knife
causes,
wound
I
in the
believe.
back. Natural causes. Knife wound in the back. There was that movie. Sorry.
That's okay.
I was just going to say there was some. Oh my god. I'm done.
Tell us about the movie after. Just as a quick reminder as to what your scans have found. Obviously, the Klingons themselves appear to be in a de-evolved state with thick exoskeletons. Some of them have got tusks. Some of them appear to have spines coming out of their backs. Yes, the ones being vaporized have all had these parasites kind of dug out or chopped into pieces in their actual necks. But the parasites themselves appear to be bulkier and to have something of an exoskeleton themselves. They're definitely not the standard parasites you've come across in the past.
These aren't your mother's parasites.
Yeah.
These aren't just any parasites. These are M&S parasites.
Yeah.
Other parasites are available.
Yes.
This is not sponsored by M&S.
However, if M&S wants to send us some Percy Pigs, I
Yes, please.
more than
Percy
happy.
Pigs are great.
Oh, yes, I could definitely get rid of some of those. Were we able to get some scientific information out of the body that's remaining, or is that something we still yet to do?
Is it a bit like
Speaking entirely from back on the ship here, just wondering aloud?
No, that was kind of the same thing. I assumed it was more like the Kerbal space program kind of data, where it's just
when it explodes, we've got some more data. Yeah,
exactly. And just keep that data.
And it doesn't blow up next time.
If Commander Bosh would like to make a reason and medicine check with his medical tricorder, this is going to be difficulty 2.
Okay, I have a reason of 10 and a medicine of 5.
Oh, do you want to add some more dice? Have you got anything that will help you out there? Are you bold or cautious in your medicine?
Actually, I've got medicine, chemicals, triage, infectious disease, field medicine.
Not going to cut it here, I'm afraid. Something like xenobiology would be helpful to you.
Yeah, no, I've got.
If only we had a xenobiologist.
Hey,
If only
I'm
you
a
did.
xenobiologist. But do I want to help you though?
Do you?
I will assist.
You will assist. Okay, so you can also make a reason and medicine check.
Oh gosh. Have you got my my sheets, Stu?
I do. You are looking for 11 or under on a single D20.
Is it worth it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I will roll. My online roller is not working.
Hey!
I rolled a 0.
No.
That's not a thing.
I got a 4. There you go.
4.
Nice.
Fantastic.
Good, because I got a 9 and a 20.
Yeah. So, I said difficulty 2, didn't I? But you do get a complication. Unfortunately, your medical tricorder
Blows
up. Basically.
You got one of those Sony ones with those lithium batteries in it.
It's perhaps it just can't handle the information that it's received, because
it can't handle
just
the truth.
before it sputters and dies, you're pretty sure you're reading Klingon DNA from the remains of the parasite.
And he sent his findings to the Livingston. Now that his tricorder is dead, can we just hand him another one?
No, it was a medical tricorder. None of you are carrying a medical tricorder.
No, it's packed up. I'm going to have to take do a direct connection to download the stored data. I can't access it, but it seemed to be that the parasite, not only was it changing the Klingon host, it looks like the Klingon host was changing the parasite.
Making them more symbiotic,
primal. It's definitely a worrying. Yeah, it's not a.
Well,
the parasites. When we're thinking back to when we scanned them with the Romulans, would we have noticed any Romulan DNA in the parasites at that point? Davok thinks.
There were certainly none that you were aware of, but notably, the parasites that you'd scanned previously conform to Starfleet's biological specifications for them. These don't. These are.
How do they deviate?
Mutated. Yeah, deviants.
Is there any way we can work out? I'll ask Bosh. If it is mutated, was it mutated on purpose? Was this something that happened randomly, or was this something that was put into them? Is there any way to find that out?
Possibly, but we'd have to use the station's scanning equipment, and my Klingon's a little rusty.
Well, I need to help again.
Yeah. I'm going to mention this to Wraal via the communicator and say I'm thinking if it is that it was mutated, it might be good to have proof of that.
Are you? Do you have any information you're able to send us over, Mr. Varren? So we're getting nothing on the scanners.
Currently, we had an issue with our medical tricorder. It seems like there's always an issue of some sort with that one. But we are working on a workaround now by using the station scanner, and we will get that data to you as soon as possible.
Very good. So anything that you need, we can maybe set some of Mr. Davok's team to work any details you get through in one of our multi-purpose labs.
Understood. Sidebar, not to Wraal. I was just curious, what else are we supposed to be doing on the station? We got the door. We got
the door open. Yep.
Yes.
Yeah. We got the door open. We got the oxygen back, and we made it to the lab. We found the parasites. Is there anything else that we need to be doing on the station other than figuring out what the fuck happened?
That's the bottom line. Big picture is this was your only lead in what happened on the Alcubierre.
Yeah, but we've got some information on the. Was it a Tellarite freighter?
Yes, you saw the logs of the station.
That's right.
Freighter that's been shuttling back between the core. What's it?
Between here and the Cordolan system.
Cordolan system, thank you. Yeah, and you saw a Romulan very briefly in one of the station log images.
So would the next course of action conceivably to go to that system and look for...
Try and find that freighter.
Yeah. On the off chance that it doesn't actually... That it has more information on what happened here, possibly.
Okay. Actually, Mr. Davok, could you see if you can remotely patch in these medical sensors into the Livingston, or find some way of doing a direct upload from what, if we can use this facility's scanning information, or at least send whatever data they've got from this database back to the Livingston.
Yeah.
Yes. Can I do that?
You're all going to hate me. Lovely, lovely threats that I've got to spend. The station's scanners are old and knackered and do not work.
That's not going to happen.
Is everything Klingon just fucking fall apart? Like that ship and these scanners?
This is a very heavily neglected station. And you, I mean, to be fair, you were aware of that going in. It's been really neglected by the Klingon Empire.
Right.
Even in his logs, the station commander talked about, this is just like, this is outskirts and this is crap.
On the off chance, and I'm thinking out loud here to everyone, if the station scanners are down, let's be honest, we probably know that this is not the last parasite that we're going to come into contact with. I would keep the knowledge that it was mutated in some way, and what you saw, and you can write it in a report. If we see another parasite along the way, we'll be able to make a scan of that and see if this is an ongoing problem or if this was this specific one. Either way, I think, unless anyone has any objections, I think we might be done here.
Is there any value in comparing the notes that Mr. Bosh got with Major Davok? I'll just clear my throat, and seeing if that's what she was expecting to find.
We can certainly compare notes. Am I allowed to do that?
You're allowed to do whatever you feel is appropriate.
Compare notes. I feel like now that we're in this together, that I should be honest about what I know. I revealed some of it last week, or last time.
Rule of acquisition 212.
Oh, shut up!
A good lie is easier to believe than the truth.
Fair enough. Yeah, that's true. I can't remember exactly what I revealed last time. What did I tell? Did I tell you everything? What did I reveal, Stu?
You were definitely not.
I can tell you did not tell them everything.
Why don't you start from the top?
Yeah, didn't you say you were Klingon intelligence?
Yes.
And you knew about there being experimentation. But any more than that, I don't know if we got anything.
Okay. So I found out that there were experiments going on here to use the parasites in order to enhance Klingon warriors. So I made my way here to investigate and potentially put a stop to these experiments because I don't agree with them, which is why I wanted to destroy the evidence in case it was used ever again to enhance warriors in a way that I don't feel is right. So I think proceeding forward should be very careful with anything to do with the parasites or the DNA that is found within them now.
Is that a personal feeling, or is that the feeling of Klingon intelligence?
I choose not to answer.
Because somebody is paying for this. somebody is running this and setting it up. This wasn't like three guys in the back that were just like, yo, I got a parasite, let's stick it in somebody's body. Like, this was sanctioned by someone within.
That's something I'm not certain of myself.
Edging a little closer to his friend Bosh, Chief Reggie has asked us straight up, so we've got rid of these bodies. Are there any more out there that are done a bit like this? How many more of these are you expecting to find, Major? She counting them?
I think she's ignoring you. I mean, I wonder if there's any more on the freighter. We know that they depressurized this station. Do we have any idea of how many people would have been on this station?
I'm sure Davok would be able to have a look and access just what was going on, who this station was in contact to, any kind of
fairly sort of
communications in and out.
It's a fairly standard Klingon build, so it'd have a fairly, you'd be able to find out how much crew it had.
Yeah, I think a crew list might be important considering.
So pretty much the information you got last time was all the information you were able to get from the computers.
So my internet's really bad. It keeps glitching out for me.
You weren't ignoring people then.
Can't, and the sound isn't coming through properly. Sorry, I wasn't trying to ignore anyone.
Not to worry.
How many more modified Klingon warriors are you expecting to find, or do you think it's a small amount that would have been experimented on?
I don't have the answers to this. I wasn't sure what to expect in the first place. So,
is this the only station that you know about?
This is the only one I was told about. There could be more, but I don't know.
All right. I'm going to relay all that to Wraal, just kind of our current situation, that we aren't it.
Oh, I think Usher's frozen.
I think, yeah. Usher's just frozen.
We're getting some communications problems over here on the Livingstone. Just let me see if my comms officer can just tick it a bit more.
No, I was just going to say that if I'll mention it to Wraal that we're having trouble having like a direct connection to the Livingston from any scans, and basically what we just figured out, and ask his orders, or her orders, her orders for what we should be doing here. If there's anything else on the station that we need.
From our point of view, I would patch myself actually through to the Major and say, Major, if we've reached a dead end here, and from the information we have, it would seem that the Cordolan system and this Tellarite freighter might be our next link in the chain of clues. If you're convinced that there's no other forms of this parasitic or parasitically adapted Klingons on board that station, my suggestion would be that we continue our investigation there if you'd like to come with us. Otherwise, we can leave you on the station.
I would agree. Yes, I'll join you because that seems to be the only option.
Defiant class is definitely an upgraded transport to what you came in on.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Like that. Very good. In that case, if there's nothing more you can gain from the station, Mr. Varren, bring your team back to the Livingston, and we'll prepare to set course for the Cordolan system.
Before Bosh beams up, is there any way of
you can't break the station down for scrap and sell it, no.
And we're not going to pull out the tractor beam and tow it along with us.
Well, I was actually thinking of trying to detonate it, just to kind of, wipe the computer core completely, so that there's no way anyone can bring any information back, and maybe add an extra crater to this little moon.
I would agree with that.
This is, of course, the property of the Klingon Defence Force, not a Federation starbase. So I have no authority to start blowing things up like this unless I received it from.
Oh, Wraal, you're off the call. Yeah, you're back to the
Klingon regional governor.
But Bosh has hung up on Wraal already.
Yeah. No, you're off the call.
Get him back. Get him back.
You're now the Andorian. So, in which case,
which button do you want me to press, Bosh? Which button?
I'm okay with that idea.
Snip the red wire.
Actually, Major, is there any way that we can stop any information being leaked from this base if maybe this base wasn't operational?
Does it exist anymore?
Yeah.
Are you suggesting we destroy it?
I mean, if that's what you're suggesting.
I'm going by your hints. Is there a self-destruct on this station? Can I do that?
There are a big red button somewhere.
There isn't a big red button, unfortunately. You can. You think it'd be quite tricky with the decrepit nature of the station, but possibly you can self-destruct it. However, a quantum torpedo to the reactor will just obliterate it.
Well, I vote we do that, and as spokesperson for Klingons and Bajorans everywhere, I give you permission to do that.
Great. So we're going to beautify the universe one space station at a time.
Okay. Yeah. So. When we've been back in, we're going to suggest to Wraal to. There seemed like there was some anomalies in the reactor room. We should probably level it just in case.
I won't tell him if you won't, boss.
Sir.
All right.
Yes.
I say beam us back.
We'll take our advice from our Klingon Defence Force colleague. If she thinks that the station poses a biological hazard to passing shipping, we could probably have more than enough reason to burn a quantum torpedo into it just to tidy things up.
Yeah, I think that's a good course of action.
Because I'm the one who's got to explain to Admiral Janeway why I blew up a Klingon station.
Just remember.
I've already been to her office once this season. It was terrifying.
Tell her it was me. It's fine. I'll take the.
Excellent.
Sir, I think you can definitely say that it would pose a significant risk to all Federation and Klingon traffic in the area, and just sort of remember that rule of acquisition number 5 is
oh my god,
always exaggerate your estimates.
Of course. Very well, Mr. Varren, bring your team back and bring any broken tricorders as well. They all have to be signed. They're all signed out. I want them all signed back in.
Okay. Yeah, let's do that. So we'll go ahead and get out of here.
Okay. The transporter engages and you all being back. Quick question. The remains of the Doctor, the Klingon Doctor, are you taking him back with you?
No.
Ooh.
I would like to, but I get a feeling that the Major might kibosh that.
As per her request, we were going to destroy him after we studied him. So to not piss off our newfound friend and ally in this, we're gonna kill it or obliterate it.
Kill it
Vaporize
again.
the body.
Good choice.
No problem. And yes, not wanting to piss off the person you've just called Major D-Bag. Yeah.
I mean, that was kind of out of character, but you know.
Okay, so noted.
I can't pronounce her name. What was that?
The goal.
Bless you.
Yeah, I like D-Bag. Okay.
Does
Anyways, no, it's yeah. So we'll just. It's like she's Klingon intelligence, right? And you're the only, current. Yeah.
I'm Klingon Defense Force, but I'm intelligent too.
Okay.
Klingons and poets and authors and everything. They're not all bloodthirsty warriors.
Yeah. All right.
It just so
we'll be
happens that the
back.
Major is. Yeah. Okay, and you return to the Livingston,
Yeah. And then
which is parked
suggest
not far away from the station. That's the only hint you're getting.
We should probably move it if we're going to hit it with a quantum torpedo. I'm assuming.
Before we do anything, we should decontaminate and make sure none of this parasite is on us. Just saying.
Would that be part of the beaming process? Would decontaminate anyway?
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
2150s. You don't have to sit in the shower with the T'Pol for half an hour.
Davok knew that. It's fine.
And you're
really awkward scenes.
But if the Major does wish to rub gel into
Anyway, moving on.
Get the Ferengi out of the shower room again.
Can I take a shuttle and go now?
I've got 6 on board. I think I can just to keep you away from the Ferengi. You can borrow 1. Drop it in at the nearest Federation starbase with as little scratches as possible.
Nice.
While you guys
It's not like
take
Enterprise
out-
Rent-A-Car.
Yeah.
Yeah,
While you guys-
if you hire a shuttle pod and I haven't got one, I have to give you a Type 7 as an upgrade.
While you guys take care of that, I actually need to mess with my internet, so I will be right back. I apologize.
Okay, no worries. We will.
In that case, if we just send Reggie back down to the brig wherever he's tinkering with his firearms, or I bet he's probably got an office somewhere just near Bosh's sick bay. Actually, hasn't he? Just keep an eye on him, make sure he's all right.
Yeah.
Security post just a corridor away. In the meantime, Wraal will instruct the helm officer, who is standing in. Grace, back us off from the space station, please. Minimum safe distance for quantum torpedo detonation.
Minimum safe distance would be out of range of the quantum torpedoes unless you raise shields.
Oh, okay. Well, if we're going to be blowing stuff up, raise shields and arm weapons.
In which case, getting a safe distance is really easy. So I wasn't gonna give that to you on a plate. I was gonna let you blow yourselves up.
There.
Okay. And yes, we're not under the right names, all of us, but that's fine. Until Usher gets back, we will live with that. So I am going to need from someone from the tactical officer. Unless you, of course, would like the Major to do the honours. Acting Captain Wraal.
That's fine. Yes, Major, if you'd like to take the weapons station for me, please.
A lot of trust for someone you just met. I'll do
Yes.
it
Davok's going to raise an
indeed-
eyebrow at that.
Yeah. The weapon system of one of the most powerful Federation vessels there is unlocked to you, Major. And you are being invited to fire a quantum torpedo at the station. The shields are up. On the ship,
Anyone
not the
ever
station.
asks, it wasn't a Federation officer that did it.
Perfect
Yeah.
cover for you. I fire. Can I fire the quantum torpedo, please?
Can fire the quantum torpedo. Give me a... you need to roll 2d20. This is a weapons and security roll. So, for the ship, that is 17.
How many am I rolling? Sorry, 2.
Oh, you're rolling 2. It's a difficulty 1. So
Okay.
you need to get 1 under 17.
I got a 14 and a 2.
Yeah.
2 successes. You can't get any more momentum because you're at your limit. And yes, a quantum torpedo. Do you know what? For a Federation ship, Major, you're quite impressed with the firepower on this little thing. It's got
I've
teeth.
earned some
This ship.
respect.
Yeah, it wouldn't be out of place in the KDF.
Pardon?
And it wouldn't be out of place with the KDF.
Oh, okay, cool. I'll make a mental note of that, but I won't say it out loud.
No, okay. And yes, the station is obliterated as you land a hit directly on the reactor.
Admiral, we seem to have someone trying to beam in. If you would lower shields.
Yes. So I'm thinking, what is he talking about?
I was just expecting him to be on the phone to Janeway then to snitch on me. He's just built up a space station.
Let's
Lovely.
Yay.
move people about.
Sorry about that, guys.
That's no problem.
Okay. I'm coming
Gosh,
through
this
well.
is there we go. Right. Everybody's in the right places. Absolutely brilliant. Yeah, so the station's been blown up, Usher. The Major went into your tactical console and took control of the weapons on this very heavily armed Federation ship.
Lovely.
Just saying. Right.
As long
Okay.
as it wasn't Bosh.
I like it's like when you leave the room, we just hand over the ship to some random Klingon. Like,
The last time Bosh used that station, there were like Cheetos, like dust and shit like that. Just
I think you'll find it was beetle snuff.
Beatles stuff.
so
And
much better.
all of the like copper wire in that are missing for whatever reason. It's just like, wait a second.
I think the correct phrase is, I think you'll find that's Beetle Snuff Officer.
We're the same rank.
Yeah.
No, I mean, yeah. Anyway, it's what you tell the police. Anyway, moving swiftly on from that. Yeah. So what's the plan now? You've got a lot of
I would
station
like to
wreckage.
use a momentum to make sure that the slightly on the fritz medical tricorder can upload all of its data safely without losing anything.
Oh, interesting use of momentum. Can
Can I assist with this with my skill in computers?
So, before I use any of your momentum, I am going to say to access basically the hard drive of the tricorder is going to be an engineering task, difficulty 3. So you can spend momentum to make that easier, obviously.
Buy extra dice.
Yeah.
Some threat to get some extra dice, pile the dice pool up, or we could even ask our chief engineer to help with that if it's an engineering.
I think that would be. I think the chief engineer doing it rather than myself would be definitely a benefit.
So we get
Yeah.
Commander Gomez to sort that to make the main rolls for it, and maybe Davok could assist. That will throw in an extra dice, and then use the momentum to add an extra one.
Yeah.
With a 4 dice roll.
Yep, I can certainly assist. I have some engineering skill.
Okay, so Davok, if you can give me a control and engineering roll, then please.
Oh, I've got 3. My engineering's 4.
Got a 3. Do you have any focuses that
No,
might be applicable?
other than computers or
Computers would
negotiations.
apply. Yeah, computers will apply. So that counts as 2 successes.
2.
Fantastic. Who's going to roll first? Sonia Gomez.
Hero, if you wish to roll, you're more than welcome.
Roll. How many do I need to roll?
Well, depends. Are you spending momentum to buy another point? Because you only need 1 more success.
Yes.
Yeah, spend momentum because we can gain momentum.
Okay, let's do
Okay.
that then.
So roll 3d20 then, and you are looking to get under 15.
Oh, I got 2 13s and a 10.
Nice.
Okay, you get your momentum back, and you get your success, and yes, you are able to download the hard drive from the tricorder
Yay!
into the main computer.
Fantastic.
Now we'll have all of Davok's lackeys just go figure out what the hell is going on with that data.
Yeah, I'm gonna task Grace to get on that straight away.
Yeah, I'm going to my whatever staff I have available, we're just going to be going through that data now. So whatever's happening with the ship going forward, Bosh and we're pretty much going into sort of medical lockdown. So like key staff in the infirmary, nobody else coming in, and we're just going through that data.
Okay.
You're so much more professional about this than when we had Klingons come to the ship.
Okay,
Yeah.
someone with knowledge of Klingons and exobiology would be very useful to you.
Yep.
Yes.
Just saying.
The offer is there if the Major wishes to join my staff for going through all this information.
Yeah, I'd like to join your staff. I think I could help, and I'd be interested to see if they can find any other different things that I missed.
Yeah,
Major, our scientific suite is at your disposal.
Thank you.
Give me my guns back. Not the weapon system.
Fine, I'll relinquish control of the weapons station.
I will go sit at my console then. I like the fact that Varren went to go take a whiz, and a station blew up in the background. He comes back and he's just like, "Wait, what the fuck did I miss?"
So we'll set the Major up in one of the additional bays that we've got for research. And
I think there was a 90% chance that you'd be in my apartment.
If she requires quarters, there is a spare bunk.
Just his medical bay.
But no, and this it will be sort of a slightly offline system. So she's got access to everything, but she can't access any other systems. It's one of the research sections rather than access to a full Livingston database.
But you just let me control your weapons.
Yes, but no.
That wasn't honorific. That was diplomatic. That was diplomacy.
Yeah.
Fine.
I
I'll accept my child lock computer.
It's just
Yes.
she's an ally. We're doing this for the clip.
You get my first computer terminal.
It's just
The Fisher-Price Federation Science Lab.
it's just made out of wood, and it's not even a real computer. It's an
An abacus.
Yeah.
It's one of those sort of you're in a really swish office and the computer looks amazing, but it's like, why are there no USB ports and why isn't this connected to anything? No, it's a really powerful computer. It just doesn't have access to anything else.
Yeah, that is no problem at all. By the way, Sonia has given you a replacement medical tricorder.
Fantastic.
As she gave it you, she did that snatching it away thing. And look after this one.
Be careful, 007. It's just had a new coat of paint.
Yeah, exactly.
That's about it. Okay. Are you getting Lieutenant Davok to assist as well in this research?
That's a question for our commanding officer. How many people he wants to throw at this, or whether he requires Mr. Davok's assistance in going after this shuttle.
I would say that our big problem is that there's the potential for some heavily armed, genetically enhanced Klingons rampaging around the galaxy. So let's deal with that problem. And in the meantime, whilst you're doing that, we'll be setting course for the system where we're going to be following the trail.
But do you want Mr. Davok's assistance with you or with us?
Mr. Davok, give the Major and Dr. Bosh all assistance that you can, please.
Absolutely.
Especially with computers, because he's just beetle snuff down his computer again.
Yeah.
Okay, so what I'm going to get you all to do on this
Exactly. It's just like it's all over.
Is to one of you, whoever is leading this research, to roll 2d20 against control and either science or medicine, and the other two to roll 1d20 against the same. So tell me first of all, who is leading this research?
I think I'll helm it because it's my sick bay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
And obviously it's going to be on a medicine rather than a science.
Davok, please give me a control, and I'm guessing your science beats your medicine.
Yeah. I got a 14, and I need to get 14.
And you need to get a 14, so you get one success. That's good. Major, your science beats your medicine, so give me a single d20 and get a 15 or below.
I'm so sorry, I got 16.
Okay. Interesting.
Off the team. Jesus Christ.
Take some momentum.
Can I do that?
Interesting.
Well,
I'm going to say actually that would be the team leader's call to spend. We'll see how the team leader does first. So roll your 2d20 against your control and presumably medicine.
And it's control rather than reason.
It is control, yes.
Okay. Okay, so the first one is a 7. And the second is a Star Trek symbol.
Oh, nice. So you get 3 successes. Do you have any focuses that might apply?
Probably not. I've got medicine and chemicals, but that's really focused on types of chemical usage. I've got emergency medicine, trauma surgery, triage, infectious diseases, and Andorians. So I don't really think I've got too much sway with particular Klingons and xenobiology of things like that.
Only your previous study.
None of those are going to apply. Now, I'm going to invite you to spend momentum if you wish. Basically, the more points you've got, and you've got 3 at the moment, the more information I'm going to give you.
Right.
The more detailed information I'm going to give you.
Okay, then yeah, definitely we'll spend some momentum.
Yeah, in which case I would say
Yes.
use all of the dice you possibly can.
Yeah.
You have 6 momentum.
Yeah, which is why I'm saying that.
I'm going to make the executive decision and say we'll use 4 momentum.
4 momentum,
Free
which
dicing.
increases your successes to 7. So I'm going to assume that this is en route to the Cordellan system.
Yep.
Fantastic. Okay, so over a period of time and studying the genetics strand, you extrapolate the DNA and basically take it to pieces and study it in great depth with a lot of help from Lieutenant Davok and the majors present. You managed to ascertain that it seems that the Klingon's DNA was kind of it's had the parasite's DNA integrated into it, and the Klingon DNA effectively rejected it, which caused it to de-evolve. The parasitic DNA had Klingon DNA incorporated into it, and it was that's why it was bulking up and becoming effectively more Klingon, like a Klingon version.
It hit the gym
of the parasite. It definitely been juicing up. But the other aspect, it was bringing the two different DNA strands closer to each other. They were, rather than each becoming a new individual thing, it's almost like they were being brought closer together on a genetic level.
And this was, they were experimented separately, or this was when the parasites went into the Klingons, that's what started happening?
It's very hard to tell. It's very hard to tell because it's hard to age genetic manipulation of this manner.
Okay.
Is there anything I can do with this information?
What would you like to do with the information?
I don't know. Is there anything that my character would be able to sort of discern from this information because she's a xenobiologist?
The Major would be surprised to hear of the genetic changes to the parasites.
Right, okay.
That is unexpected.
Would it be fair to say that what this research is indicating is that in mixing Klingon and parasitic DNA, what happens to the... Well, essentially what you're saying is that if you were to speed up evolution, the Klingons and the parasites would evolve towards basically the same creature.
That could be an assumption that could be made, if one was so inclined.
I'm just a pilot, really, but that sounds a bit like... Science is not my thing.
The acting captain, never mind the pilot.
Yeah, there's
I think of him as just the pilot.
There's a query from the database asking whether or not this makes them new creatures, and does this count as first contact?
The database being Twitch?
It may well be Twitch chat, yes.
I do not have to deal with first contact situations as an acting captain. Thank you very much.
We're much more of a second contact kind of.
Yeah, there is definitely, we're definitely second contact.
It's not that it's actually not first contact in the same way that genetically modified Suliban or genetically modified Klingons or genetically modified humans would still be part of the humans or the Klingons or the Suliban.
So, Major, what was happening there? The experiments, were they just on the Klingons or were they on the parasite?
Well, the information that I was given was that they were attempting to use the parasites to enhance Klingon warriors, which obviously happened because their exoskeletons were different to what a normal Klingon would look like. But I wasn't aware that this process was also affecting the parasite, so I'm not sure whether that was intentional or whether that happened by accident.
Like, could it reverse? That doesn't make sense.
I think the Romulan connection is interesting here. The parasites got on the station, that much is clear. Did the Klingons bring them in to perform experiments, or did they experiment on them just because they happened to be there? Which then leads you to the question, did the Romulans know they had them there, or is this part of a plot to get this parasite into the Klingons? And do any Romulans who've been affected by the parasite know what happens when you give it to Klingons?
Well, there's also another question, which is if the parasite's DNA was changed or had that of Klingon DNA in it, what happens when that parasite goes to another host after it's been changed?
Like, does the change the parasite much? Like, is it a beneficial change to the parasite, or is it like a detrimental change?
Well, my point being more, if the parasite is gathering DNA from one specific species and then it goes to another species. What happens to that species other than the parasite? Does it add the DNA of the Klingon? Does it also add, like, what do the parasites just go around collecting genomes? Like,
does it become a little bit trill?
Yeah.
But it seems to be a result of the what the Klingons were doing to enhance themselves. Like maybe it's backfired.
Well, to be fair, we don't actually know.
No, you don't.
What I mean, that's making an assumption because we know that they were doing experiments, but we have no idea which one came first. We don't know if they did an experiment to that parasite or that parasite was in a Klingon at one point.
So, like, from the data we've got, would we be able to work out whether the changes to the parasite made it better or whether it made it like less capable for living?
It made it physically stronger, bulkier, certainly. It didn't reduce its lifespan, you don't believe?
No. Okay. So it only makes things worse for us.
Certainly doesn't improve the situation, but do you know what? That's probably a really good place for us to take a break.
Time
Indeed.
Mull it all over. So much to think about.
Yeah, so
Right, we will see everyone in 6 minutes.
Time.
Bye.
Tea.
There we are, and we are back. Well, most of us are back. Poor Kira not feeling very well from her. She had her second vaccination today, so she did very, very well to stick with us as long as she did. So the Major is going to be meditating on the results of...
And Matt, we just really don't care about, which is why he's gone.
He's busy researching or something.
Yeah. Oh, damn.
Matt's
be
here.
quiet.
Matt's here. Not to
There
worry.
he is.
I've been here the whole time. What are you talking about?
It's fine. Yeah. So the Major is going to be meditating on the results of the investigation with Bosh and Davok. But while all that's going on, let's bring ourselves simultaneously to acting Captain Wraal and his XO Lee Varren. What would you like to do en route to the Cordelin system?
Well, first of all, I'm absolutely going to be getting on the subspace network and communicating to Admiral Janeway exactly why we just blown up Cortal Station, and definitely pointing out that it was not the Federation that did it, but a Klingon finger that pushed the button.
You need to make sure that the auto noise cancellation is on that call, so that you won't hear like the champagne that's going on in the background and everyone cheering about how we just blew up a station, how much fun that was.
Yeah. I'm going to ask a question of Wraal now. Are you doing this over a secured channel or a general?
This is absolutely. I'm writing it in code, in invisible ink. I'm doing every possible thing to make sure this is extreme. Just goes between me and Admiral Janeway.
Right, you are using your full-on every possible. Are you doing this from the bridge, from your ready room?
I shall go to my ready room to pass on an update on the mission using secure channel Wraal Alpha Gamma 9. That's
okay.
Does the Defiant have a ready
that one.
Yeah, it either does or it's Wraal's bedroom. I'm unsure. This is slightly larger than a normal Defiant class ship, by about 10%. So you do get some things that you don't normally.
Do you have a fish tank?
I like to think that you've just gone into the corner and you're just like facing the wall and just being like...
Pulls a blanket over his head.
It's fine.
It's literally just like a broom closet, and it's got like a mop in there and all this other stuff, and it's just outside. It has a piece of tape with "Ready Room" written on it.
just before I make the call, I put on a different pair of glasses with a large false nose and a moustache.
And a newspaper with some holes in it.
From memory, Defiant class does have a ready room, and without going too geeky, there was that where there was the cadets that had control of not the Defiant, the Valiant,
Yes,
and
the
there was a meeting between Nog and the captain.
I'm assuming this is DS9.
Yes.
I still haven't seen any of it, so
It wasn't Walters, was it?
Yes.
He was the original captain who got killed.
No, the first officer was a proto-Karen. I remember that.
Yeah.
Because she was a
this
Karen
will be
in
the
every
next
sense
Star
of the
Trek
word.
Sunday topic. How many classes have ready rooms?
Yeah. No, I can't remember his name either. But yes, you're absolutely right. He did have a ready room, so yes. So Wraal has a ready room as well. So yes, you go in there. It is absolutely secure channel.
So excited
At
about
both ends. Is there anything? So just to kind of shortcut it a little bit, is there anything you are not telling Admiral Janeway?
Wow, that's a question, is it? I always get the impression that Admiral Janeway, when she talks to you, can see what colour your soul is just by glancing at you. I have this horrible feeling that if I omitted anything, she would just look straight back through the screen and say, "What are you not telling me, Wraal?" And I'd just crumble anyway. So no, I think in the interest of full disclosure, I'm going to be telling her everything. I'm only acting captain, so I've not even got the keys permanently. I don't want it taken off me this quickly.
Okay. As you are telling her the full events, when you mention about the Major and the Major coming on board, the Admiral looks away for a moment, just seemingly off behind the view screen, off to the right. There's an almost imperceptible nod, and she turns her attention back to you and says, "Commander Wraal, tread with care. The Klingon Defense Force have no record of anyone being dispatched to Kortar. I will make investigations this side. With regards to the other matters, the destruction of Kortar, totally understood, good call. And yes, please head to the Cordelland system. Post haste, you have authority to exceed Warp 5.
Excellent. Thank you, Admiral. And we will continue our cautious investigation of both the parasitic problem and our guest.
There you go. Right.
Yeah, I was gonna say he hits that button and goes, oh.
It's all right for you lot. You don't have to keep getting on the phone to Admiral Janeway. You're in the background there, like, oh, God, push Wraal forward. Go on, you talk to her. You get into trouble.
Well above my pay grade.
Yeah, exactly. Anything I do, I cop the fight. It's a decision. We support it. We're right behind you.
All I'm imagining is, yes, thank you for your time, Admiral Janeway. Button.
Do you
Is it? Where's this thing? What do I press?
God, do you share this information with your XO or your chief of security?
It is vitally important, as I understand it, for crew and ship to function properly if the captain and the XO are in lockstep. So, yeah, I will absolutely be sharing all this information. Mr. Varren, can you report to my ready room, please?
just he tries to stuff himself in that broom closet as well. It's just like, what do you want?
And it takes me like 20 minutes to undo all the locks of it because I definitely didn't want anyone coming in.
And someone
left
goes
the
and then
chain
opens the door.
Yeah, there's like a small cat flap. They just puts his head through. With the ship's cat. There must be a ship's cat. We'll figure that one out later.
It should be some like absurd animal. It shouldn't be a cat. It'd be like we just have a random llama.
It'll be the ship's Tribble. We've already gone.
Yeah, there we go.
I've got Bosh to spay it, though. I don't want the ship full of them. Thank you. Be a responsible Tribble owner, people. Get your Tribble spayed.
Go. Tribbles.
That is just creepy.
Tribble.
It's like the Dr. Evil look.
It's oh dear.
So next
right.
time we're back, there'll be far more of them.
Yeah.
Official Tribble.
Official Tribble. Fantastic. Absolutely.
Yes, as Mr. Wraal reports to my ready room, and I will basically impart all the information that I've got, and especially the warning.
Go away. Interesting. Okay. Do we need to do anything about that currently, or should we just keep an eye on it?
I think just keep an eye. Remember, the Klingons by nature are going to find this incredibly embarrassing. Are they going to admit that they've sent someone to investigate this? Maybe, maybe not. To be fair,
anything,
at that higher level, I would tend to suspect that if someone like Admiral Janeway asks a senior Klingon officer directly, "Who have you sent?" and they say, "We haven't," I tend to suspect that was truthful.
Yeah, that was my concern as well. She or he. It's a he, right? Kira's? Is it she?
She.
Okay. I tend to think that she seemed a little unsure of herself, and that ship was certainly a non-standard Klingon vessel. That ship was over 300 years old, was it not? I believe
200, but yeah, well
200 years old. Yeah.
Well out of service.
So, anyways, moving on to the other problem at hand, we should. What do we know about the freighter? Is there any way to track the freighter? And I'm asking Stu this, just because Varren would hopefully know.
I imagine if we're heading towards the system as well, is there anything we can do to set some sort of sensors and scanning to pick up maybe any sort of signature trace of that freighter?
You can make a general scan, but you certainly don't have any warp signatures or anything of that nature. So you don't really know what you'd be looking for. It'd be like looking on the road for tire tracks when you don't know even if the vehicle you're following has tires.
Well, then would it be beneficial to monitor civilian traffic in the area, or civilian or commercial traffic in the area once we get into the system?
That would be a fairly standard thing to do anyway, is to kind of be aware of other vessels within your general area, just so you don't crash into each other.
Yeah. I mean that's fair. I'm going to let you in a little secret. This is my first time in a ship.
Oh, totally. No worries. That said, space is big, really big. I mean, you might think it's a long way down the shops for a packet of crisps, but anyway. Been a hitchhikers there.
Okay. All right. Well,
towel day's coming.
I hope we've all got a towel.
Yep. Towel day next Tuesday. Just so you all know.
Is it really?
It is.
Well, wonderful.
There you go. So, anything else you'd like to do? I mean, you do have a bit of time.
In which case, I'd like to review the footage. Did we? Or if not footage, we didn't take the footage from the... Did we?
From the quarter? No, you didn't.
No. All right, just trying to go back and remember, we saw the Tellarite ship that was making regular stops from that station and this system, correct? And at one point, we saw a Romulan on said ship.
Very briefly... They seem to be hiding round a corner. They duck their head out and then back again.
Okay, so it did look suspicious.
It was a bit blink and you'll miss it. Yeah.
Okay. If that's the case, I might mention to the captain, to acting Captain Wraal, it might be worth it to monitor for Romulan ships as well in the area.
Okay, yeah, I think we can. There is some sort. Well, we need some sort of. If they were cloaked, we need some sort of tachyon detection grid to be able to pick up cloaked Romulan ships.
No, never
I'm
mind.
not sure how advanced we are that we can get any sort of net like that going up in ship.
You do not believe you have the capability to scan for cloaked Romulan ships.
In which case, we'll just putt around. Just obviously no Romulans there at all times, because otherwise you would just have a nervous breakdown at all times. Like they're watching me. I know it. I know it. I know it. I know it.
They're just flying along over the top of us the whole time.
Oh my god. Invisibility has so many problems with it. with like the idea of that becoming a thing.
Fantastic plot device. I know they were having a great day when they came up with that in the original series.
Yeah.
It's a good job that humans aren't paranoid. That's all I'll say.
Not at all. Let me just quick look under my desk.
We're not going to develop it ourselves.
Yeah. Okay. Well, in which case, I just say we go to the system and see what. I mean, we don't really know any. What do we know about this system? That's something that we should do? Is there a star chart room or something like there is on the Enterprise? What is it? Stellar cartography or something?
You don't have anything quite that fancy, but you do have a database.
Okay.
Mm.
And I can give you some information if you're choosing to look up the Cordellan system on the database.
Computer
learn
love to.
What do we have on the Cordellan system?
Okay, so the Cordellan system, I can tell you, is... Oh gosh, I can't even see how many... can't see how many planets there are. However, ship's records show that the Cordellan 4, which is a gas giant, has 24 moons. There is a Klingon outpost on the 6th moon, which the Klingons used to mine for diamagnetic ore until abandoning the operation during the economic disarray that followed the destruction of Praxis. That's got to be, 100 years ago?
Yeah. 2280, 2290?
Yep, so definitely a long time ago. Diamagnetic ore, a bit more digging into the database, you discover produces a disruptive field akin to atmospheric electrical storms. It scrambles sensor readings and communications. As such, it makes this a very forgotten and out-of-the-way location, possibly a suitable place for anyone who wished to operate in secret.
Yeah, you said that like an abandoned station from 100 years ago sounds like a wonderful place to experiment on some Klingons with some parasites. The communication thing blows, because if that's like the goddamn Oberth class, we're screwed again.
It's a mining colony. It's totally different.
Oh, I get it. Mining colony. God, that sounds even scarier. This is becoming like a Dead Space playthrough, and not Star Trek. All right. Any other notable planets or anything in that system other than where we obviously know the plot is? I'm just curious.
Nothing of any note. There are no M-class planets. There is a Y-class planet, Cordellan 6.
M-class being habitable for certain races.
Minshara class is what it stands for.
Interesting. Okay.
Which is a Vulcan word.
Yeah, it's a Vulcan designation.
Interesting. Okay. Well, that's pretty much exactly what I want to know. I'm happy we looked at that.
Okay.
Do we have cetacean ops on this ship? Do we not? Do we have dolphins?
You
Check
do
the killer
not
whales.
have dolphins, I'm afraid. It's far too small a vessel for this.
I mean,
Which
we
is a
could just have a
shame.
pet dolphin that doesn't need water and just kind of flops around the bridge at random times.
Bosh has got a tank for his tribble, which he can put water in.
You could have a very small
Genetically
dolphin.
modified dolphin.
But have you ever smelt wet tribble?
Oh,
Oh God!
That's why I don't let him. That's why I don't let him fill it on the ship. It's like people bringing in, fish sandwiches and putting them in the microwave. It's just not permitted on the bridge.
No, it just smells vaguely of like shrimp or something.
Shrimp and disappointment. Right.
Okay, yeah. Let's. Well, I don't know. You're captain.
Well, in that case, yes, we will. As we approach the system, we will have to. I suspect we'll have to be setting course for the Cordon 4.6. Whatever the designation is. Unless it has a name. Does it have a name? Did the Klingons name it, or was it just so out of the way that it didn't get a name?
No.
It's
not
called
been given a name.
Klingon Shithole 1.
No, it's not been given a name. This is just the mining outpost in the Cordelin system.
Yeah, actually, I think it might be to be really weirdly sort of elite dangerous. It should be like Cordolan 4F probably if you're going fourth planet out and then Moon F.
What a fucking nerd.
That's how you want to do it.
I'm just going to type that because now we've named it.
We'll see.
I can see Captain Wraal just editing the star map that we have, like right clicking it and adding rename.
I'm just editing the Federation wiki now.
Yeah, exactly. It's immediately as soon as you do that, it gets like changed back with a note from Janeway that it's like, get back to work.
Yeah, I'll stop fiddling around with my designation.
Could you make Pluto a planet again while you're?
Yes, I've already done that.
Yeah.
I've already done that.
Good.
Yeah, but now it's got citation needed next to it.
It's like,
Just point to this stream, so it's.
yeah, Jesus.
Maybe we could
Okay.
have. Is that what's written like underneath the hull on the Livingston now? Pluto is a planet. Is that sort of in plates? You can only see it in a certain light, and the reflection will show that it says that.
Statement.
Pluto is a planet. We'll have to start calling you Captain Jerry.
Jesus.
So the entire journey at Warp 8 takes about a week. So I think it's fair to say that Bosh and Davok and the Major spent most of that time doing their research. Obviously, you've had your conversation with Janeway and
I'm getting back out of my ready room, having locked myself in there.
dug into the records. Is there anything else you would like to spend time doing before you arrive?
I can't think of anything.
I was going to suggest, is there anything we can do to the ship which might help us out if there's any sort of sensor or scanning anomalies from that gas giant, which is going to be making our life problematic? Or can we calculate an area where we can do our preliminary scans on approach to give us more information without getting caught in a great big dead zone next to it of not being able to find anything out?
Or not being able to communicate with anyone. Is there any way to counteract that or make something? Probably not.
From what you understand about the diamagnetic ore and the effects it has, it doesn't prevent sensors from working or communications. It scrambles them a little bit, so it makes them more difficult rather than stops them from being used. In terms of what you can do to the sensor, there's no known way to counteract the effects of diamagnetic interference at this time.
Okay. I'm just going to mention to Captain Wraal, just we off chance, I mean, we're already on a roll here. We could just fly by it and blow it up and then move on with our day. And We don't even have to worry about it. I'm just saying.
Now, I realise that the one time this week we've managed to get the guns out on the ship, you didn't get to have a go on them, and I do apologise for that. But diplomacy, I'm afraid, had to come above, Mr. Varren's space shooting gallery. No, we're not going to be blowing it up straight away. Not straight.
Bosh, if there is some downtime, wants to do a little bit of like a refresher course on Tellarite physiology and other bits and pieces, just because we don't know what's being experimented on. We know the Tellarites have had some involvement, but it would be just a good from Bosch's point of view. He just wants to kind of see if a bit of a refresher on Tellarites in general.
Okay.
Can Tellarites be infected with these parasites? Because if there was a ship with the Romulans on it, did it transfer to the Tellarites?
I'm definitely not Googling Tellarite right now.
Searching the big faces. Searching through the database, there are no known examples of Tellarites being infected by the parasites. But then there's no examples of them coming into contact with the parasites. So,
yeah, I'd like to just a general remind me of. It's been a while since I've studied Tellarites. Probably not since I've been back at the academy. So just a kind of, do they have 1 heart, 3 hearts? That kind of stuff.
Gotcha. The basic anatomy, and absolutely you can do that. Interesting thing of note. Tellarites, in terms of sort of human physiology and what have you, they actually have more in common with seafaring creatures called anemones, genetically speaking. Their blood is a sort of rich leukocyte, viscous fluid.
Lovely.
Rather than it being sort of iron based. I mean, other than that, they're, quite often one humanoid is pretty much like another. They have transverse ribs like Ferengis do. And certainly you can make a point of ensuring that the information in your shiny new medical tricorder is up to date with Tellarites.
Okay, thank you.
That's no problem at all. Anyone else for anything else?
I can't think of anything.
No.
No.
Good.
Okay.
We'll just continue in.
So, eventually, the Livingston makes its way to the Cordolan system. Worthy of note, once the research is done, the Major is very much keeping to herself. She seems to be interacting as little as possible with the rest of the crew.
Mr. Varren, do you have a particularly trustworthy member of your security staff? I'm not saying have a guard on the door, but I am saying have a guard somewhere within spitting distance of her quarters door all the time.
I'm sure I can find a security personnel who needs to fix something on one of those walls for the next week.
Yes, lots of tinkering with panels. I'm not saying to restrict her access, but if she's not going anywhere, we just want to make sure that there's no one else on the crew going in there either.
Okay.
As he gives a look at Bosh. I will detail someone immediately.
Very good. Thank you, Mr. Varren.
Medical emergencies accepted, of course.
Obviously, yes. You try and give CPR to a Klingon.
Jesus, don't give him any ideas.
That cool challenge.
Yeah, don't give him any ideas. He may stop her heart just so we can give her CPR.
Are you telling the Major that you're arriving in the Cordolan system?
As we arrive, yes, I think it is. Suspicious as this Major, I mean, this is a Major just like, General von Steuben wasn't really a general. But yeah, we will still be polite, and at least we'll keep up the appearance of not suspecting. So yes, as we arrive in the system, I will message internal comms. Major, we're arriving in the Cordolan system. I'll just leave it at that. I won't invite us to the bridge. I'll just say that, see what she wants to do.
She responds that understood. She has some additional research to do from this end. Please keep her appraised of the situation, and she will come and join you when appropriate.
That's fine. That's exactly the response I was hoping for. We continue into the system.
Okay. So as you arrive in the system, do you want to conduct an initial census sweep?
Yes, and Mr. Davok, initial sensors, please scan, especially our newly named planet.
Is that what it sounds like?
Yeah? Does it not?
Of course it does.
It does now. That's canon.
We know,
We need a
we know
Star
what
Trek
scanning for
soundboard.
life forms sounds like. So this is going to be... by the way, we are entering a new act and new scene, so no momentum.
Bye momentum.
And
And
let's go really slow.
Davok scan
my
really well.
threat
All right.
resets as well. This is a reason and science task assisted by the ship's sensors and science, difficulty 0. Yeah. So, who's going to roll for the ship?
I can do that. Oh, this is a ship, isn't it? I rolled
so
a
if
3 and a 5.
Oh.
Sensors and science are, when I find sensors, 11. So that's 2 successes. Oh no! For the assistance, it's 1 roll.
Oh, I rolled a 5 and a 3.
Yeah. So one of those is a success.
Okay.
And then for yourself, reason and science.
Oh, I just rolled for me. Sorry, I thought
Oh,
that's what
right,
we
that
were
was
doing.
yours, right?
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
that's what I say. Who wants to roll for the ship then?
I'll chuck one in for the ship.
Okie dokie. Yeah,
Don't
so
fail
what
me
did I
now.
say it was? 11.
It's an 11.
It's an 11. So with 3 successes, you get 3 momentum. And I can tell you information that was not in the database. The Cordolan system contains 12 planetary bodies. The 5 outer planets are frigid Class K worlds with methane and nitrogen atmospheres. These are followed by a Class Y planet and 3 ringed Class J gas giants. The 3 remaining inner planets are Class H worlds with temperatures hostile to humanoid life. The gas giant Cordolan 4 contains 24 rocky and frozen moons, and the mining outpost, as expected, is on the 6th moon.
Okay, this might be a good point to remind our chief science officer that you have an ability here. When the science officer succeeds at a task assisted by the ship's computers or sensors, the character generates 1 bonus momentum, which they can be used on the obtain information momentum spend. So essentially, we get our 3, you get an additional 1, which immediately burns, and we can ask you for more obtain information, please.
Very good.
Okay. The diamagnetic field coming from the moon, which you expected, is stronger than you expected.
Does that seem natural, or does that seem like it's amplified on purpose?
Yeah.
It's hard to tell. It's an excellent question, but it's hard to tell.
Are you able to scan the diamagnetic field itself and get any more information off that?
Scanning the field itself, that's an excellent question. I'm going to say no because it's something that interferes with the scan. So if you, it's
bounces off.
yeah, it's not really.
Yeah, scanners aren't picking up anything there.
So would it be,
Can't focus them in any further.
since scanners are picking up nothing from it, or it's interfering with it, would we even know it? Would we only know it's there by the lack of information
No,
in a certain section?
Your scanners are telling you that there is a diamagnetic field.
Oh, okay.
And that it is a very strong diamagnetic field.
Wonderful.
Too strong.
Too strong.
Maybe say that was
Definitely too strong.
caused by the mining, or is it the thing that their mining causes, or that they used to mine causes it?
Or they're doing it on purpose.
They used to mine diamagnetic ore, which it's a byproduct.
So the ore itself creates
Yes, it does.
it. Okay.
But in theory, you would have thought that if they're mining that ore, the field would be slightly less because they'd have got rid of it.
The more you take out, the less strong it should be.
Yeah. So there's either a bunch of it there, or they're doing something to create the field.
I mean, I would imagine if you're running a super secret Klingon gene lab, you might want scanners to not be able to pinpoint exactly what the fuck is going on in your ship. So they might be taking advantage of it somehow.
I don't know if it's Bosch's gut, but my gut says super secret Romulan research facility.
Yeah, I also noticed that the Federation Galactic Wikipedia had been edited to the bit that said, "This is an abandoned station," had been edited by someone, KDF. I don't know who that is. KDFROM.com. I don't know.
So I guess my question would be, do we trust anything we know about this station? Or do we just assume that everything is wrong and that it is fully active?
I think we press on a little closer and see what we get. Is there any, on our initial approach scan, that would also pick up any ship traffic, civilian or otherwise, in the area? That would just be our basic, our space TCAS system would be pinging that.
You're currently sitting on the edge of the system. You're certainly too far away to get anything specific from pretty much any of the planetoids. There's nothing. There's no ship traffic that you're aware of at all. In order to scan the outpost, you would have to get quite a bit close. Basically, you'd have to go into orbit of the moon.
Yeah, to scan that. Okay, in that case, I shall order our helmsman to continue the approach towards the moon, which we've got a name for now. See if Davok had scanned it first, it might be called the Moon Davok.
I don't need to name a moon after me.
I don't know, it might end up being called Wraal's Folly. Who knows? I think that's a good name for a moon.
Yeah, it's more likely, I suspect.
So we'll set course and continue on closer to the moon, please.
Okay. You get into orbit of the moon without any difficulties at all. That's an incredibly basic thing to do. And you can scan the outpost if you wish.
Yeah.
Mr. Davok, get those scanning fingers going.
This
Yes.
is a reason and science task assisted by the ship's sensors and science. It is a difficulty 2 task by the diamagnetic field.
Yeah, so that's 2 dice from Davok, 1 from the ship. Do you want to throw another one in to assist from
For
Marlon?
momentum. Yeah. I'll do 3 then.
Okay, so 1 extra one from you,
Burning a momentum.
and I'll chuck 1 in for the ship.
Okay. Oh, it's got to be a 7 because the ones are symbols. So I got 13 and 7, so that's 2 successes.
I've rolled a 10.
And the second one was a 14, which was just enough. So 3 successes.
Sorry, your first one was a...
So I've got a 7, a 13, and a 14, and I needed to get 14.
Okay. Cool. 2 successes.
And
the
a
ship...
10 from the ship, please. So 1 extra success here.
And 3 successes. So you get
4
your
successes.
momentum back.
Oh.
No, the momentum was used to buy Amy an extra dice, I believe.
Yeah, and I got... Oh, was I only rolling 1 in the first place?
No,
2.
also-
Yeah. I rolled 3 dice, I
Two.
got 3 successes.
Yeah. So that's where the momentum came in, was to buy the extra dice. Excellent.
Yeah.
So with your successes, I can tell you, and of course you get the extra burn of information as well. So you're getting lots of information.
Always get
I
Davok.
can tell you, the outpost antimatter reactor is currently operational. Sensors indicate multiple life signs. Because of the interference, the scans are having difficulty providing additional details about them. I can tell you, however, because of your burn of information, that while the interference is naturally occurring, it has in fact been artificially boosted. You can spend another momentum to get more information if you like. Yes. Okay.
How many momentum do we have currently?
You now have 2.
Okay.
The life signs is the static on the sensors just clears up just for a moment. It does suggest there are multiple Romulans. It's impossible to tell how many. There is a Klingon, and this'll intrigue Captain Wraal. There's a Trill
Oh.
at the outpost.
What?
There are also other unidentifiable life forms.
Ooh.
Can we scan specifically for the parasite now that we have its signature?
Not through this diamagnetic field. No.
It's too fine of a scan to get through.
Is it worth opening communications channel and seeing who's down there and who answers back?
I don't know.
It's an
Whose
outpost.
outpost should this be?
It should be
Hang on. It's an
old-
abandoned Klingon mining outpost from 100 years ago.
So we should expect the Klingon to answer.
Well, you shouldn't expect anyone to answer. It's been abandoned for 100 years. So this isn't like a sanctioned outpost that we're going to that we know of.
I mean, I guess the question is, we can scan them. Do we presume they know we're here?
If we have to get in orbit to scan them, I assume so.
I mean, a mining outpost. How much? How much do they may have? They will have basic communications. And
They're doing what we think they're doing. They probably have some high-tech equipment on there.
yeah, I said they probably know that we're here. So we need to make it look like we don't know what we don't know.
What they're up to?
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
But
That we know that they know that we know. Yes.
What are our
Then,
rules of
yeah.
engagement with this? What,
Generally, we don't really know what they are up to, but we know more than we are going to let on that we know that we don't know.
Exactly. So my thinking is to open communications in the hello. Is there anyone down there? Anyone need any assistance? We're in the neighbourhood just in case you need us. We know what you're up to. We don't really know what you're up to.
One thing to mention though is I imagine that what's affecting our senses is also affecting theirs. So we might be a bit more hidden than we think.
Interesting call.
Is
You know
it?
what? I think for the moment we're going to play it coy. I don't think we're going to open communications because if it comes back to bite us later on, why didn't you communicate? We can always say that we did. But maybe the interference got in the way.
thinking this might be a decision that we need everybody for, figuring out how to do this. Like, what do we do?
Can we beam through a diametric field?
It is possible to transport through one. It does have its difficulties, though.
Can we just beam the one Klingon to our ship and just be like, what the fuck are you doing?
Quite interested to beam that Trill on board and say, what are you doing?
Exactly.
Or who are you? Actually, would that scan information give us any indication whether there were any Federation comm badges down there, or whether it was just picking up life signs?
There was nothing like that. I mean, literally, you were getting a load of static, then it just cleared just for that briefest of moments, and went again.
So we wouldn't be able to lock on to anybody down there and pick them up, but we could potentially beam down to that area.
Exactly. Yeah, it's sort of like it's a one-way door for the moment.
Well, that's not helpful in getting off of that station if we need to in a hurry.
Well, for getting off the station, a couple of options would be open. One is you believe that removing the amplification of the diamagnetic ore will definitely make transport a lot easier, and you can also take transport pattern enhancers with you as well if you want to spend momentum.
Yeah,
because that's in a set of 3, isn't it? And you set them up in a triangle.
Yeah,
correct.
Teleport boosters. Or is taking a shuttle down there an option where that would bypass the problem altogether?
It's certainly an option. It comes with its own set of difficulties because, and certainly as a skilled pilot, Wraal would know that diamagnetic oil. It's pretty much like flying through an electrical storm. It affects the shuttle's sensors. It can cause a bit of turbulence. It's not impossible.
I'm thinking. I think maybe Bosh's idea of pattern enhancers might be better.
I'm going to make this a little easier for you. I can tell you that to transport, you first of all need to adjust for interference to sensor lock. That's going to be a difficulty 2. And then you would need to transport your away team down, which would be a difficulty 3. Taking a shuttle, plotting the course is a difficulty 2, and then piloting the shuttle is a difficulty 2.
Shuttling down there is going to be easier, but that'll be a job for me, and I'm kind of stuck in the chair for the moment.
Because of the inhospitable nature of the moon, if you took the shuttle down, in order to get from the shuttle to the outpost, you would need EV suits, which would require momentum spend.
I think Mr. Bosh's suggestion of teleport and pattern enhancers is probably a better option. Even though it's a more tricky task, we do have a particularly skilled engineer who's already beamed us and other things on and off moving objects quite well already.
Yeah. Should we take excess security?
I think this might be one to take Reggie down with again, because he's not going to let Bosh go anywhere that might be dangerous without tagging onto him as well. There's not many Ferengi he likes, but he likes that one.
Are we sending Bosh down?
That's up to you.
Well, it's up to the leader of the away team. Isn't it, Mr. Varren?
Bosh, you have any objections to going?
No, it just is whether or not. I mean, in theory, this is a extremely hostile environment. There may be use for sort of medical backup. It depends whether or not you're planning this away mission as a let's grab someone. Is this a retrieval of personnel to see what's going on? Is it a surreptitious retrieval of data to try and get in and out, or is it a full confrontation?
I think this
keeping
is
it confrontation to a minimum.
It's a continual investigation, isn't it? We don't want to be overly. Our rules, our directives from the Admiral are not to go in all guns blazing unless necessary.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I don't know that we're going to get a choice in that.
We still don't have enough evidence as to what exactly is going on. This is just where the trail has so far led us.
As far as the away team would go, I would say retrieval of data and information would be top priority, to where we can submit data to Janeway and then figure out further orders from there. That would be my best bet. How we go about getting the data is, I would imagine, would be up to the captain, whether it's espionage, stealing data from a room that is unoccupied, or trying to take data that way, or confronting them in person. If we confront them in person, I have a feeling, or I don't have a feeling, I have a fear that it'll turn into the Oberth all over again.
Beckoning Mr. Varren into the corner for a moment, I mentioned to him that it's my intention to invite the Major down on the away team. And I think it would be worthwhile having some extra protection for our own staff, as well as for her, if that be the case.
That was going to be my suggestion as well. Bringing Reggie as well as the Major. And then whoever Davok and Bosh choose from their teams or themselves would make me feel more comfortable.
That's it again. Actually, yes, that's fine. If Bosh would like to send one of his medical staff down and coordinate from up here, that's also definitely an option, and works within the game as well.
Yeah. Same with Davok. If she wants to come, I'd be happy to have her. But if she wants to send a lackey,
excuse me,
I think Davok expects it's going to be quite difficult to gather the data, so he'll probably need to go down himself.
Okay.
And Bosh was more of a case of, do you want to take medical personnel, or do you need additional security staff to deal with things?
I think myself and the first officer will go with an additional security staff would just be advisable here.
Okay. So not bring Bosh and bring...
We do have the extra medical and xenobiologist support from the Major.
Okay.
As well as Bosch's medical ability. So I think that way we're pretty covered. And Reggie's not bad with a spanner.
No. So the team is going to be...
a weapon or fixing things, either way.
So is that Bosh is going, or we're bringing in extra security? Besides Reggie?
That's your choice.
Shit!
Yeah, first officer.
You guys suck. This game blows.
This is actually a part that I've now sort of realised that I really like. It's like, you decide. I'm quite happy to pick up any character to go through. Yeah, this is really interesting.
I think.
Have you noticed Varren's doing the Kirk lean?
Yeah.
I want to ask Wraal something privately in her ready closet.
Love it.
Can we trust the xenobiologist to be on our side at all times, or would it be worth it to take Bosh down just in case there's a confrontation and the xenobiologist is no longer on our side?
I trust Bosch's opinion on something more than I trust a Klingon who we have apparently no record of them being sent by the Klingons.
Bosh it is then. So it'll be Reggie, Bosh, Davok, myself, and Kira.
You're going to
Or
invite
major D-bag.
You're going to invite Major
Kira.
I think, I think her knowledge of xenobiology and the fact that she is caught up in this up to her neck hole. I'm more curious what she will, not what we're going to learn with her, but more what we're going to learn from her, just reactions to all this. Just by observing her interactions instead of getting specific data off of her.
Mm-hmm.
She was always going to be part of the away team down to this outpost.
Yeah. In which case,
I would always invite her. Whether she decides to come or not is up to her, but the invitation is always there.
In which case, we may have to leave that till next game, because if that's our team.
Funnily enough, we've hit that time where, you contact the Major, issue the invite, and we find out what happens next week.
Alrighty.
Maybe not next week.
Well,
not next week.
Next time.
Not next week.
Episode.
Next time. Actually,
Next time.
that's something we need to tell the listeners as well. So there will not be an episode in a fortnight's time, I'm afraid. We have to wait a month for the next one, and that is entirely my fault. I am actually taking a holiday.
Hey.
Something I haven't done in a very long time.
However, is Ed, are you streaming something on that day instead?
No idea, but I could. Why not?
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, if you do, I will host it on my channel as well, so people can find it easily. And what is your Twitch, so people can?
Me, I'm as I usually on anything. I'm Twitch/Filock22.
There we go. Fantastic. Well, thank you, everyone. Thank you, Kira, as well. Hope you're feeling better soon. We will see you here.
Hyper sprays in the post.
Yeah. We will see everyone for Star Trek Sundays on Sunday. And of course, next week is possibly a Choose Your Own Adventure. We'll see. Yeah.
Alrighty.
Fantastic. Right. In the meantime, everyone, peace and long life.
Bye now.
Bye.
Bye.